Hello everyone, in this video we are going to make a handle for the drawer and we are going to learn how to add ons in Blender and how to use editing tools such like extract, scale and bunch of other more. And the reason that I make this in a new in a separate project because I want to learn how to import and export projects to an existing one. And without being said, let's get into this. First, let's learn how to add ons in a Blender. We are going to add a loop tools. So in order to do this, go to edit, preferences, add-ons, and search for loop tools. Make sure you enable mesh loop tools. To find this tool, go to edit mode and right click and you will see it on the top. Now let's get started by deleting this cube and switch to XY axis and then go to add image and background. I am going to add this image. I downloaded it from Google. You can find it by searching for handle for a drawer. In case you didn't find a proper one or you didn't find this specific one, you can comment down below your email address and I will send it to you by email. Now let's rotate this one. R to rotate, G to move, and let's make it to the center of this axis. Now let's start model this handle. Go to add and add cylinder and let's change the vertices into 8. Then let's reduce the radius and we're going to change the depth. Now make sure the cap fill type is nothing, so that will be empty. This cylinder will be empty from the inside. And let's rotate it in the y-axis. Let's make it perpendicular to the y-axis, 90 degree. Now let's change the depth and let's move it to the center. G to move, and let's make sure it's parallel to the y-axis. Then we are going to change the depth on the z-axis. We're going to make it proper. To be more accurate, you can enable the X-ray so you can see through this object. Now let's enter the edit mode by pressing the tab key and let's select these vertices and then S to scale and then go to the other side and press S to scale. Then we can add another loop by going to the loop cut. While you selecting it, press S to scale. Now we have this object. Now in order to select the whole loop, just press L and left click the edge and you will select this loop. Now E to extrude, X to move in the x-axis, and S to scale, and let's add another loop cut. Alt, select the edge to select the entire loop, then E to extrude, X to move in the x-axis, and S to scale. We will keep doing the same steps over and over. Now We can keep doing the same steps over and over till we finish the whole shape. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to introduce another way. Go to object mode, then add curve, Bezier curve, and you can see this curve right here. Then switch to edit mode by pressing tab and select these vertices right here and delete vertices. We have now only one vertices. I am going to move it to the center so we can find it easily. And from curve menu, go to set spline type, press poly, and we have a poly point here. Now let's move it. G to move. Try to make it to the center. You don't have to be 100% accurate, but it will be approximately to the center, as you can see. Now go move to the XY axis and select this one and go to edit mode and press E to extrude, and again E to extrude till you finish the shape. Now after we done from this, go to object data properties and let's close the shape one. Go to geometry and go to bevel and make sure the resolution at 2, not at 4, and let's change the depth and watch now. And we got this curve. Now after we done from this, let's go to switch to the object mode and then go to convert to mesh. After we done this, we have two separate objects. We need to join both of these objects into one object. To do that, select one, left click and shift left click to select the other one, to select multiple objects. Go to join, and now we got this at one object. Now we want to close the gap between these objects. To do that, we need to go to the edit mode and make these vertices merge into one vertices. In order to do that, select these vertices and select left click to select the other one and go to merge vertices, and let's choose Atlas. And let's do the same thing. Left click these vertices and shift left click the other one, and to open the merge menu and at last. We will keep this one till we finish the whole shape. After we done, we have this shape right here, and let's change the top or the end of the shape to make it much more accurate. This one, add the same steps we did. R to rotate, E to extrude, Alt to select the whole loop, R to rotate, E to extrude, X to move in the X-axis, and S to scale, and so on. Now after we done from this one, let's add the UV sphere to represent this sphere right here. Now let's make sure the vertices are similar to your objects. We choose 8 vertices here, and the segment and rings should be 8 too. Let's change the radius and let's rotate this sphere into y-axis. Let's make it perpendicular to the y-axis. Now let's move it to this position, G to move, Y to move in the Y axis, now let's enter the edit mode and delete half of this sphere. Make sure you enable the face selection and select it and select all the faces of this sphere and delete faces. Now let's delete the end of this sphere. Don't forget this one. Shift left click and delete faces. And we got two objects now, and we want to merge this object or join this object together. And again, left click this one, shift left click the other one, object, join, and we have this in one object. Now let's close this gap right here. At the same steps, go to edit mode and make sure you enable the vertices now selection. Now let's press or select this vertices and shift left click the other one and to merge and pick at last, and the same steps for the other one. Now after we done from this, let's add the other half of this object. To do that, we need to use a modifier, and we use the mirrorr modifier. And to do that, we need to add an empty axis. First, switch to the object mode, then go to add empty, then a plane axis. Add a plane axis. We want this plane axis to be on parallel to this y-axis right here on this position and in the middle of this shape. You don't have to be 100% accurate, but you want this empty axis to be touches the edge of this object. Now G to move, X to move in the x-axis, after we done set this plane axis, we going to add the modifier. In order to do the modifier, we need to select this object. As you can see, the mirror modifier will make a mirror to the object that we add, that will be the empty plane axis we added earlier. Now go to modifier properties, add a modifier and mirror, and we can go to mirror object to empty that we already add, and as you can see, we got this shape here. Now in case you have this gap right here, you can simply make this object as one. To do that, I want to make the mirror effect remain still and delete this mirror effect. To do that, we can apply this modifier, and the effect of the mirror editor will still, but this will be as one object, and that's what we need. Now go to edit mode, and you will notice that you can merge these vertices as we learned before. And that's it for today's video. Hope it was helpful and fun as for me. In the next one, we will continue model this handle, and we will use a new modifier called subdivision modifier, and we are going to add this handle to the old or previous project that we work on the previous videos. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.